My hair. Oh. That doesn't really work.
No, because you haven't trained your hair to do it yet.
How do I
keep doing it?
I keep doing it?
Yeah.
I just need to do it over and over and over again, and then one day my hair will figure it out.
Yep. Especially if it's wet.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did work when it was wet. I think it's just getting worse.
Yeah.
I hope nobody likes this hair, because it is going bye-bye as soon as humanly possible.
Ladies, gents, and gender bends, welcome to Ducky Productions. We've got a couple things to discuss with you guys today. First off, we're going to be showing you guys a little bit of a video game collection haul thing.
We bought some stuff, so we're doing an unboxing video with no boxes.
That's called a haul. That's just a haul.
It's an unboxing video with no boxes. That's...
All right. And then the other portion of the video, we are going to be discussing the beautiful movie that we watched last night, but I'm going to leave you in anticipation, even though you probably read the title of this video. But let's start off with what we bought this weekend.
All right. So, Avery bought a few things at the Best Buys.
So, Best Buy was having a Black Friday sale, and these are two games that I've been putting off buying for a significant amount of time because I just didn't want to spend the money on them. One is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I hated 2, but I heard the combat system is different in this one, so hopefully I actually like this.
Because you sold 2, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It's one of the few games I've actually sold, so. And then, 2 is Yoshi's Crafted World. It's a baby game. It's very easy, but it's also very cute, so I'm stoked to own it. This was only like $35. Brand new Nintendo game.
So Xenoblade, you hated the second one enough to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you bought the first one.
Yeah, because the only reason I hated the second one was because of the combat system. And the combat system in this one is very different. So,
what if they make a Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
Well, then I'll buy 3 if the combat system's good.
And you're not going to buy 2?
We'll see.
I couldn't do that. I need to own every single one of a series. It's a compulsion.
Yeah, well...
That's why I own Fallout Brotherhood of Steel.
I don't... Well, that's why I own Amiibo Festival.
That's true.
I own the travesty known as Amiibo Festival, so...
Honestly, I own Fallout 76. I don't think Brotherhood of Steel is, like, the
worst one. No, probably not.
When Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, the Fallout game that's so bad that it's officially not canon...
Yeah. It's
is
good.
not the worst Fallout game.
Yeah. What'd you buy at our local game store this weekend?
Yes. I bought the wonderful... prized most it's Way of the Samurai.
Wow.
I know, it's a game. It's got combat, I'm sure. It might be like it's some Japanese shit,
mm-hmm.
Definitely. Yeah, you don't get as many games as we have here while knowing everything or really anything about every single game.
That's true.
So yeah, this was a game that was on my list because some people said it was good, and I was like, all right. And you know, they had it was expensive and in the back, and I had to ask specifically for it, which means it's got to be
good.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
That's basically the rule.
Yeah, you were even so excited about this that you had them put it aside for you last week.
I didn't even ask them to, actually.
They offered?
Yeah, no, I was like,
sweet.
If I have enough money next week, I'm getting that guy. And the dude was like, hey, I'll just put it aside for you. You guys are good customers. And then I cried. Only on the inside, though.
Our local game store is incredible. I tell you guys the name, but I don't want you to know where we live. So
that's yeah. We'll leave it at that. There was something else that we bought there as well. It was our Christmas present to ourselves. And what we like to do for our Christmas presents is buy things that we'll never use because we don't want to spend our own personal money on them.
Not even necessarily things that we won't use, but normally things that we really don't want to have to buy.
Like
so,
for the first birthday where we were together, I asked
Christmas.
for... Was it Christmas?
Yeah. Oh, no, your first birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I asked for a PlayStation 1 because, I have those PS1 games, and I could play them on my PS2, and I could play them on my PS3. And so there was absolutely no point in getting one. And I was never going to use it because the damn thing doesn't have an analog stick.
Right.
And yeah, so she got me one.
Yeah, and then we bought a second one for some reason, so.
It was the miniature one. I want a PS4 Pro.
Why?
Because, you got to have the most upgraded version. So now not only do we have a PS1 that we're never going to use, we also have a portable DVD player that looks like a PS1 that we're never going to use.
It is a PS1. But on the topic of things that we're probably not really going to use, one of these things we'll probably use more than the other.
Because we'll use it an entire time.
Yeah, probably.
Which is, do we want to show the thing we'll actually be interested in first, or the other one?
The other one.
The other one, okay. We got
a NES.
Big chunky boy.
Look at that.
Look at how 80s that is. We really like the buttons.
The buttons are actually kind of cool.
The buttons are so 80s.
Oh, but God, this is a chunk.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big boy.
And this is considered really good condition? Or decent
Yeah,
condition?
this is pretty good condition for an NES. I mean, there's not a whole lot of discoloration or anything, so this being from the 80s, man, this is in pretty good shape.
She knows about the things.
I do.
I'm the plays a lot of the games to completion guy, but with the history and refurbishing consoles and all that nonsense.
Yeah, I fixed my Game Boy Color all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's all this lady. She's
Yep.
talented. You made a case kind of thing, didn't you, for one of your games? Or you spray painted it or something along
Oh,
the-
yeah. I made a custom 3DS faceplate. So. But the other thing, which I'm way more excited about, is a SNES.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, this SNES is in pretty darn good shape because any of the ones that I have seen, you see this discoloration around the ports here. That's the entire top of the console. They just end up super sun faded for some reason. So I'm pretty stoked that this one's in the best shape that I've personally seen in person. And we might actually play this because I have Nintendo Switch Online, so I can play almost any NES game that I have any interest in playing on my Switch. And the NES is just super stupid to try and hook up to a modern day TV. But the SNES, I actually have some nostalgia for, so I might actually play this.
And now we own every single Nintendo console aside from the original Game Boy.
Yeah, that's the only thing that we don't own. We own some original Game Boy games, and we have a Game Boy Color, but...
We actually have all of the consoles of the big three,
Yeah.
aside from the new ones.
And a Game Boy.
The new ones and one of the oldest ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, talking about Nintendo, talking about especially, the NES, the SNES, that beautiful time period of Nintendo. What did we watch last night, Nathan?
I'm gonna need a minute.
You wanna break?
Yeah. Whoosh.
Oh, your own transitions. Your own transitions. Is that Nikki Jakey?
No, I can't steal that from Jack Packard.
Oh,
I feel like
it's Jack Packard.
Yeah, I need to come up with my own thing,
All right.
I know the framing just completely changed. I don't know if you guys could notice that. One day we will buy a tripod. How much are those things, the tripods for your phone?
$10.
Yeah. One day we're going to make that investment, but until now we're balancing the pop socket on the computer.
It works. It works, okay? Hey, we make it work.
Yeah.
But what did we watch last night? Because I was really stoked about it.
Hey, jump!
You're flying.
Come on, Mario, come on. Just trust, jump, come on.
Okay, I'll just, yeah, okay.
Come on.
I'm there.
No, wait, Mario, don't jump. No, it's not. No, that's fine. It's just a... Oh. Mario. Oh, Luigi! Oops. Sorry. Mario! I got you!
Luigi, I'm alive!
Good catch, I told Mario I should try out for the Yankees.
We watched the Super Mario Brothers movie. Okay, to give you guys some reference here, Nathan used to have quite a large DVD collection, and this is one of the things I made him keep when he went through and decluttered his DVD collection.
Yeah, I had over like 1,500 DVDs.
Yeah.
And just like the games, you don't get that many DVDs while having every single one of them be one that you like and or care about.
Yeah.
And she's excited, but this was the 2.5 time that I've seen this movie, and I was done in the first 30 seconds.
Oh, it was so good. And by so good, I mean it was really bad. To give you guys some background, if you didn't know this movie existed, it does. It is a live action adaptation of the Super Mario Brothers.
Adaptation is
A very strong word.
yeah.
But it's so 90s that it hurts. If you guys have ever seen Romeo plus Juliet, what's the actor's name?
John Leguizamo.
John Linguini. He plays Tybalt in Romeo plus Juliet. So every time I see him, I'm like, is that Tybalt? Is that Tybalt? And then I'm like, yeah, that's Tybalt, because his teeth are really sharp. For some reason, that's how I recognize him. Not his face, but his mouth.
And if I'm not mistaken, they were thinking of casting, an Italian person in the role of Luigi, and somebody who like actually looked like Luigi and had a mustache. And then they were like, actually, this young Hispanic man's hot, so we're gonna make him
That's also
this
why
Italian-American plumber.
That's why they also gave him a shirtless scene. So.
Yeah, like 3-second shirtless scene. They're not even brothers. That's how loose of an adaptation this is that Luigi is adopted.
Yeah, he's an orphan, and Mario took him in, basically.
And he explicitly calls Mario his mom.
Yeah, he does. But, so, this movie, extremely 90s. The acting is all over the place.
Some of the actors knew what movie they were in.
Right.
And some of the actors didn't care what movie they were in.
Yeah.
Like Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, they were like, you know what? This movie's dumb as shit, and
I'm gonna go for it.
We're just gonna go for it. And then Dennis Hopper, who I believe was the biggest name when this movie came out. He's in like Easy Rider. His first film was like Rebel Without a Cause. He's in a lot of Westerns. He didn't give a half of a damn.
No. No, he was honestly probably some of the worst acting in the movie.
He's the guy, he plays King Koopa.
He plays Bowser,
Yeah.
basically.
But, like, don't get excited. Like, you're thinking, oh, man, I'm going to see some, like, wacky 90s costumes and some whatever.
There totally is, though.
There are
totally
some,
is.
but
The
most
Goombas
of the,
are amazing.
yeah, okay, but, like, the main Goombas are just some dudes with some, like, punk 90s outfits. And then, like...
Well, they're more like Koopalings. They're not Goombas.
Sorry, not Goombas. Koopalings. Yeah. And then, I don't know what a Koopaling is. Listen.
They're little Bowsers.
I've played, like, an hour of Mario 64. I dinked around on that game as a kid. I've played a minuscule amount of Super Mario World on the Game Boy.
You've played Yoshi's Story.
I've played a lot of Yoshi's Story.
Yeah.
There we go. That's my main...
That's your main reference for Mario.
That's my main reference. So, like, I don't know. But, like, what? Toad is in this movie?
Got no resources. Got a great big stupor. All because of the evil King Koopa.
You know the law, Toad.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't arrest a guy for just singing a song.
For anti-Koopa song, we can.
Ah, yeah.
And it's just this John Travolta looking motherfucker with like this huge, like, I don't
Pompadour.
know. He's got like a pompadour thing, but then also he's got like a shaved head where he's got like spirals of hair around his head because
it's the 90s.
Because Toad, I feel like they were trying to model the like mushroom head thing and just doing a really terrible job.
But
and then Bowser is just Dennis Hopper with like
ridges,
spiked cornrow things.
Yeah.
Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Lizard King. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's He's not a giant turtle.
No, he's not a giant turtle, but everything about this movie, all of the costuming is so 90s, it freaking hurts. Like 90s kind of futuristic. Like think that weird see-through plastic that everything was made out of in the 90s. You know, those like blow-up couches. Think like those see-through backpacks. That kind of weird, kind of cheap amalgamation of futuristic and like spikes and weird stuff is the entirety of the aesthetic of this movie, and I deeply appreciate all of it.
Maybe I didn't appreciate it because I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Blow up couches?
Yeah, that was a thing.
What kind of plastic are you talking about?
I'm just saying, like, that vibe. I'm saying the vibe of the 90s. Like, this movie made me think Spice Girls.
There
when
should
it
have been
came.
more, like, primary colored geometric wallpaper.
Yeah, well, that's a different kind of 90s aesthetic. But this made me think, like, the Spice Girls movie. It just, it feels so 90s, and it's just beautiful. The writing makes absolutely no sense. The story's stupid. The characters are dumb. There's no Princess Peach. Yoshi is the best thing in this movie, though.
Daisy's in there. They did make a very cute Yoshi.
Yeah,
but
he's
nobody
adorable.
rides him.
No, because he's little.
He gets
He's a little-
stabbed.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
If you guys really care about spoilers for this movie, Yoshi gets stabbed. He lives, though. He's fine. Yeah, no.
Aunt Petunia from Harry Potter is in this movie.
Yes, she's like Bowser's sidekick, basically, and it's real weird. The second I saw her, I was like, she looks really familiar, and I don't know why. And then I was like, she pursed her lips in some kind of a way, like she always did when she was on Petunia, and I was like,
got it.
she's Harry's evil aunt. But no, I want you guys to go into this movie with the correct expectations. It's absolutely horrible.
I don't want you guys to go into this movie.
I do. I think this movie is necessary viewing for all Nintendo fans. It's horrible, but in the best way. It's so funny. It's so funny bad.
There are good, bad movies out there.
Yeah. This is one of them.
This is not one of
This
them.
is one of them.
It doesn't.
Okay, let me give you everything I love about this movie. The plot makes no sense. It is a gritty like 90s action remake, but is also like a comedy. The writing is horrible. The delivery of some lines is bad. The costuming is kind of horrible, but like, you know, in the best way. The music's bad. Oftentimes, even just like the shots that they take in the movie, the actual cinematography is bad. The action scenes are poorly made. Everything's really bad, but like in an over the top kind of way. Like this movie,
There's a part in the middle that just gets incredibly difficult to follow because
Yeah.
they're like looking for that piece of that meteor.
yeah.
And they find it, and there's that weird dance scene.
Yep.
And then they're throwing it to each other, and then Aunt Petunia gets it, and then they leave. And they leave like nothing went wrong.
Yeah.
Like they don't act like there was literally the only reason why there's like 20 minutes of the movie where they're trying to get this crystal back, and then they don't get it back. And they act like that's not a big deal at all.
Yeah. But, so, like, this movie makes absolutely no sense, and it's pretty all over the place. But I do feel like, here's the good part about this movie, right? I feel like the actors that knew what they were getting into leaned into their roles hard, and they made the best of it. And if you go into it, like, with the understanding that it's gonna be kind of bad. If you're like me and you really love Nintendo, you love the history of Nintendo, you really like the Mario Brothers, and you're down for some bad 90s acting and writing, piece de resistance, this is an amazing movie.
There's some special effects in this movie too that
They're so hilarious.
that will make all of your muscles lock up with how
Yeah.
cringy it is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I gotta tell you, if I would have seen this movie as a kid, it probably would have been one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about last night, where like I haven't seen Hook in a long time, but millennials every single millennial loves Hook.
Yeah.
And everybody who's not a millennial knows that movie is f***ing terrible.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's around where this movie is at.
Yeah. Like, the interesting part about this movie is the fact that it even exists. The fact that they set it up for a sequel at the end. But I think if you go into it, like, wanting to understand why Nintendo hasn't made a movie since then, because they haven't. Nintendo has not made...
I think this is what killed that, too.
Yes. No, Nintendo, they made Detective Pikachu, but that was the first movie that they've made since this movie.
It only took 25 years
because
for them to try again.
This movie performed horribly in the box office. It performed horribly, like, critically. It performed horribly with fans.
Did you actually do some research?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It performed horribly with fans, and I just adore it. I just do. I don't know why. It's one of those movies that's so bad that it makes me laugh.
The interesting thing about this movie is that, like, so in the modern times we're living in, you know, in the Guardians of the Galaxy post Thor Ragnarok world that we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
If everybody will recall, prior to that, it was all like grim, dark, gritty, like look at, you know, like Batman Begins and The Dark Knight were cool, and now the movies that people want to see are like Thor Ragnarok. Look at how goofy like Infinity War and Endgame are, and things like that. So our mentality has changed dramatically in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So I feel like when people look at this movie, if you have a modern mindset, you're going to be like, you can't explain how the world of Mario works.
No.
You can't bring logic to it. That's not the way to start this movie.
No.
You just have is it the Mushroom Kingdom? Is that a Mario?
Yeah.
You have the Mushroom Kingdom, you have the castles, you have the Italian plumber, not the Italian-American plumber, the Italian plumber. You have, you know, the evil turtle man, and you just roll with it. Like, you just go for it. You don't need... You just make that movie. Not that I think that there's even really a way to make a good live-action Mario, but I'm sure that somebody could maybe figure out a way. But this movie does not come in with a modern mindset, obviously. It comes in with that early 90s mindset where it's like, well, this has to make sense. So we're going to start out the movie with an explanation of when the meteor that killed the dinosaurs hit the Earth. It didn't actually kill all the dinosaurs. It split
the dimensions.
Split dimensions and created two parallel dimensions where mammals evolved in one and dinosaurs evolved in another. And so the Mario world is a bunch of human-looking dinosaurs.
Right. Yeah,
and
they don't even look like dinosaurs.
And there's also raptors, but they have like dinosaur tongues.
Yeah.
And like... there's other like dino related like culture. They are birthed out of eggs.
Well, and they, instead of having rats, they have little like raptors and stuff that run through the streets.
But like the thing about that, it's like, okay, it's so beautiful. you took the time to go into that, but like dinosaurs aren't the Mario thing.
They kind of are.
Are they? Like, really?
They kind of are.
Like, is Mario... like, when I thought of Mario, I'm like, this is just a bunch of random stuff. We got princesses. We got castles. We got, like, mushroom... like...
people.
Yeah, isn't that what Goombas...
No.
What are the things that you jump on?
Those are Goombas, but they're not mushrooms.
They're totally... they're little mushroom guys.
I mean, not really,
You
though.
pop on their head... so they're supposed to be dinosaurs.
Like, kinda.
If they were photorealistic, what the hell would they look like?
I have no idea.
They certainly wouldn't look like they do in the movies.
No! So, okay. All right. So, Goombas. We all know what a Goomba looks like. A Goomba has a little body and a big head. In this movie, they decided that they would give the Goombas big bodies and tiny heads.
Goomba! Yeah. Walk tall, be proud. Go Goomba!
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it so much. Here's the thing. I love the fact that they tried to explain the Mario universe, but they also, like, didn't really.
That's the point that I'm trying to get to, is that, like, okay, look, Mario, you got Yoshi.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know what Goombas are. They look like mushrooms, but they're not mushrooms. They're whatever. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll roll with that. And then you got Bowser, which, like, yeah, he's a turtle. I disagree.
Yeah, I mean, he's a turtle
is,
dinosaur.
I disagree that he's just a scary looking turtle.
No, he's
That's
a turtle
the whole
dinosaur.
story. I see, and I don't agree.
You're wrong. I've played more Mario than you. He's a turtle dinosaur.
I just, like, he can, okay, fine. I just don't see how it's like a dinosaur world. Anyway, so then this movie, you'd think if they spend that much time trying to make this make sense and thought about it, they'd at least go with like a Mario aesthetic in some kind of way. No, it's just... Is it actually called Dino Hatton, or is that from another movie?
No, it's not called Dino Hatton.
Okay, anyway, yeah, they're in like an alternate version of Manhattan that is like some cyberpunk future with fungus growing everywhere because I guess they decided to go hard on the mushroom theme.
Yeah.
And yeah, no treescapes, no lava, no castles, like literally the polar frigging opposite of the Mario aesthetic in almost every way possible, even though they spent so much time doing the dinosaur thing.
I love it. No, everything is completely opposite of Mario, and they set up this world to try and make it make sense. Half of it doesn't make sense at all, right? Like, they spend all of this time trying to build up like this lore behind it. And let's be honest, there's so many plot holes in this movie. There are so many times where none of it makes any sense. There are times where they don't explain things that they should, like the Babam. How does everybody know what a Babam is? Why did a Bullet Bill just end up in those jumping shoes? We don't know. They were just throwing in Mario references.
Did they use the Bullet Bill?
Yeah, they're the cartridges that go in the jumping shoes.
See, they use jumping shoes. Which, like, I guess is their way of doing, like,
the Mario
like,
jump
the
thing.
platform,
Yeah.
but they need special shoes for it.
Yeah.
They do, they have these special jumping shoes, and they use them, like, 15 times in the movie.
Yeah.
Before ever, like, putting a bullet bill in them.
Yep.
So, like, I figured the bullet bill was going to turn it into some kind of gun, and they were going to use it.
Nope.
No, they're just what makes the jumping shoes jump. Apparently,
Yeah.
This is your interpretation.
Yeah, that's what I got from it anyway.
And remember, I've seen this movie like 1.5 times prior to this, and I just...
Still, yeah, no, there's a lot where they don't make it easy to follow. There's a lot that they don't explain that they should. I still love it, though. That's what I like about it. I like that it's so all over the place. I like that they just kind of decided... I think here's what I like about it. I like that the people that decided to make this movie were like, we're gonna do our own thing. This is gonna be our own Mario. It's not necessarily good. It's not necessarily what anyone asked for or what anyone wanted, but I will give them that it's unique.
It's not really unique to video game movies, though, because most video game movies are just like, yeah, we're gonna take the name and make a movie.
Yeah! But they made, like, some things that definitely made it a little bit more Mario. I liked it. It's a really bad movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying... This is probably, like, a 1 out of 10 kind of movie.
See Hook first if you haven't seen Hook.
Right. But this is
Got
like...
Robin Williams.
Right? But this movie, it might not be unique, like the concept of taking the name and whatever, but I like that it is very unique. I like that they came up with their own lore, they came up with their own thing and kind of tried to make it work, but like didn't have enough follow through to make it work. Like, it's cheesy, it's 90s, it doesn't make any sense, and I very much enjoyed it. I think if you go into this movie with the right mindset and you're a Nintendo fan, you're going to enjoy it. Don't expect it to be good. Don't expect it to be good. It's an awful mess. It's the reason that Nintendo hasn't made a movie until Detective Pikachu, which, hot take, that movie's not very good either. But it's a really interesting piece of Nintendo's history, and I love it for how bad it is. That's how I feel. It's fantastic.
Well, I agree with the 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think that's a very accurate yes.
If we're talking on scales of enjoyment, mine's 10 out of 10. I had a great time.
Oh man. Watch it with your friends. I will say this is the most enjoyable time I have ever had watching this movie. I think the first time I watched it alone, or maybe with like a high school friend who it might as well have been watching it alone because he had such a personality.
Wow.
One of those two things, and then the other halftime. Actually, I apparently just wanted everybody else to suffer. When I was in college, I had an adaptation class, and so we watched not what you would think that we would watch. Actually, we watched a lot of adaptations. I don't know. I don't remember a ton from it, but like we watched the Squeaky Boots episode of SpongeBob for a like Edgar Allan Poe adaptation. So the whole class was stuff like that, and the last movie we got to pick, and I made sure that it was this movie. I wanted the entire class to have to watch this movie. And
Beautiful.
so there was like I don't know, there were some Disney movies on the list, and there were some other movies on the list, and I just like I don't even remember how I did it. I just made sure to like make all those movies sound like they wouldn't really apply to the subject matter, and like sway the teacher in a certain direction, and then like you know, convince people like vote on the Mario movie. It's the Mario movie. We got to watch the Mario movie. And then I slept through half of it, which is why I say I've seen it 1.5 times.
But it is... That's such a mean thing to do to people. And I'm saying this as someone that enjoyed this movie, because if you don't know enough about Mario, if you don't like care at all about Mario, this is just a weirdly bad movie. Mm-hmm. You know, like, but if you watch this like with your significant other, or you watch this with a couple of friends that like really like video games and want to laugh at something super stupid, it's a good time. It's a really good time.
For at least 50% of people, because that's the percentage of people between the two of us that had a good time with this
One
movie.
in 2 people will have a good time. You had a good time watching it with me, though, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So.
I didn't even doze off.
That's true, and he fell asleep while we were watching My Neighbor Totoro, so...
I have an issue with sleeping during movies.
Yeah.
I went to college for film, and me sleeping through half of Super Mario Bros. Was not a unique...
Unusual.
Yeah. Birdman was the only movie in college I did not sleep through a significant amount of.
Didn't you fall asleep during one of the Spider-Man movies?
I fell asleep in theaters during Spider-Man Far From Home, Rogue One, Force Awakens... Infinity War, I think I dozed off. Yeah. Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, I definitely fell asleep.
During like every movie.
This is why I'm more into video games now.
Yeah.
After going through college and sleeping through literally every movie we watched in class, and then looking up a synopsis online, I was like, maybe movies like aren't my passion.
Yeah. Well, on that note, if you guys would like to see more movie reviews, let us know, I guess. This was a little all over the place, but if you guys want us to review maybe a couple of the other video game adaptations, I'm down.
What have I done?
So, otherwise, if you have any suggestions for content you'd like to see, please leave them in the comments down below. We appreciate you guys watching. You can find our Twitter, our Instagram, and my Twitch channel in the doobly-doo. And we will be posting for you guys again next week. Thank you very much for coming by. Say goodbye. There we go.
This is...
Oh.
It's my signature move.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't introduce ourselves at the beginning of this video. Hi,
My
I'm
name's
Avery.
Nathan.
Okay, do it again. Do it again.
My name's Nathan.
Yeah.
My name's Nathan.
My name's Avery. And that's it.
You want me to just cut that into the
I don't know.
into the beginning?
Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. It won't
Okay.
look good.
Yeah.
Maybe put this at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a place for a hard cut here, and I might cut it before this, but I might also keep all of this in.
Oh, God.
Oh, we could have the pictures for our, like, you know, up over here, and then, like, in these places, and then this could be, like, that space of time where people, like, are picking what...
Oh, what they're doing next?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to see our previous video, check over here. And if you want to see...
It might be over here or
yeah.
over here, and it could be down here
there
as well.
But if you want to see what
Sometimes they're in
YouTube
the middle.
suggests, that's around, like, somewhere here. So,
There's going to be stuff. I don't know. Our
Bye.
icon will be... Yeah.
yeah.
It'll cut somewhere in here. Who knows?
Bye!